Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's Tournament Game 7. I forgot which game I was playing there for a second. Where we are playing Helheim. I'm not going to cut this. I'm just going to keep going. It is turn 36. Let's jump into it. So, we've got Blood Magic 4 on our way up to Blood Magic 5. Cool. We've got a series of reanimations. We've got a fire from afar. 10 units were hit, and 5 were killed. That's pretty good. We'll check into that here in just a second. We did a site searching in a couple of different places. We found a magic site in Osens, an enchanted well. This is a Water 1 site, I believe. We've got 33 more blood slaves in Tiny Willow. Fantastic. Get to witness some battles. We've got a battle in Agartha between Tirnanog and Kalem. So, Tirnanog has moved stealthy raiders into Kalem's territory. He's attacking, is gonna butcher these Spirehorn warriors. They're not going to do shit to Tirnanog. He almost lost a doggo. Wrong battle. Okay, so he lost nothing in that attack on Agartha. Very cool. And then we see a battle between Abyssia and Hinnom, east of Dead Forest. So this is a big battle. We get to, I think this is the first time we get to see something really from Abyssia. He's got a bunch of Anathemot salamanders who probably out in front for fire elemental spam, right? He's got a line of burning ones. He's got some smolder ghosts. Cool. He's got some blood slaves. He's got the Empire is Mine, his prophet. Very cool. He's got Malphus the Corruptor. Ooh, a demon ambassador from the Abyss sent by the Heliophagai to corrupt and destroy the Abyssian people. I think this is probably a legendary or a hero, unique hero. I mean, then he's got some warlock apprentices in the back for probably Sabbath slaves. And then over here, we don't have much. So this is just a very small amount, little PD. But we get to see what is Abyssia bringing to the mix. They've got some Phoenix powers. We've got the Divine Blessing that goes off. What does he have? He's got Defense Skill 3, Bark Skin, Magic Resistance 1, Blood Surge 3, and Awe. So Bark Skin pushes their protection up. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It also gives his people, his Anathemats, right? Decent protection, 10 protection. The 5 fire resistance penalty is basically nothing to him, so that's really interesting. That's cool. Cool. And then Blood Surge. Awe is kind of cool. Interesting bless. That's interesting. Okay. Got a Fire Drake heading on out. And this is not enough. This is actually really interesting. See, this wasn't considered dangerous enough to trigger gem usage, but he got very close to losing an Anathemat there. Or an Anathement. Because he almost got hit by a cavalry charge because they didn't throw out any elementals to block for them. So that's a little bit dangerous. Needs to watch out for that. Probably just pull them slightly back. By much. Okay. Otherwise, we got a whole bunch of fireballs. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Very cool. And then we've got a treasure has been found in Brightgate. 945 gold. fire gems, air gems, water gems, earth gems, and a dragon scepter. Very cool. Many commoners are volunteering to serve in the militia. Plus 15 defense in Sanafe. Also cool. We have the walls severely damaged in Gifa, and the troops in Tiny Willow have killed 48%. Sweet, 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 sweet. What are we doing this turn? Basically, we're doubling down on our previous turn. We are moving another reinforcement squad over towards Gifa. We're going to hopefully have the fort cracked there the next turn. We have consolidated in Brightgate. Probably we are going to wait here one more turn, and then we're probably going to move on Sarmatia. So we are casting fires from afar this turn. Next turn, we will probably cast another fires from afar. And then the following turn, we will also probably cast another fires from afar. Whittling that down. Why are we doing that? Well, let's take a look. Pretenders of the World, Sarmatia. So realistically, fires from afar hits. It does 15 damage, right? So it has a decent chance of killing most things. But it's much more likely to kill... Sorry, I was thinking. It's much more likely... Out of all the things that he has, right, most of these things that are higher HP, etc., they're less likely to actually get dropped by this. I'm assuming he does not have very many troops that are not Oirapadas. And I'm assuming he doesn't have very many commanders that are not Inaris or Warrior Sorcerer. And maybe the occasional, like, Witch King, right? It's less likely that the Witch King, that the sorceresses, that the Oirapadas, etc., are gonna die to this. So when we see something like, oh, five people died to this, there's a higher chance, I guess, not necessarily, but it's a good chance that those are Inaris, right? So getting several turns worth of that under our belt, going to be a very good thing, right? Killing Oirapadas, he can kill as many, he can probably recruit as many Oirapadas in a turn as we can kill. But picking off, if we even only, just for like the next 3 turns, for example, if we only killed successfully 2 Inaris every single turn, he could only replace 1 each turn, meaning that would be 3 fewer Inaris in the final fight. Potentially final fight, right? Anyways, that's the generalized concept, and hopefully we're killing way more than that, right? He's got basically no money left. We're just trying to get him to soften him up so that when we send things in, because he's still very dangerous. Inari's flooding the field with hordes of skeletons while something like foul vapors or something like that is up, is still definitely capable of hurting me, and his sacreds are still better than mine with the bless that they have. So we're gonna finish in Gifa and then come to Sarmatia, but my assumption is next turn we will have the fort cracked. So next turn we will probably take it while we're moving out from Brightgate to Ard, and then the following turn we'll reinforce into Sarmatia with both the forces from Gifa and the forces from Brightgate. So cool. Great, fantastic. I had a shit ton of money this turn, so we are recruiting all over the place. Banyarls in Brightgate, in Osens, in Dead Forest, Perses in Kohnberg, another Hangadrot in our capital. Unfortunately, we have gotten Hangadrot numero 3, that is Death 4. It's kind of unfortunate at this point. It's not the worst thing in the world, obviously, but like, it's a very useful person, but it's kind of a pain in the we are sneaking, or we are reinforcing on Brightgate. I'm throwing a lot into trying to finish up Saramatia now, because I don't want to have Saramatia not be finished and get into a big thing with Helheim, and then have Saramatia come back and Helheim get in my shit and rinse and repeat, right? So we're trying to not bite off more than we can chew. We're gonna let Tiernanog and Helheim duke it out a little bit. I have heard tell that Femoria is going to jump in against Helheim, so hopefully that'll be good, right? The goal here is going to be to take Saramatia safely, take a couple of lands from Helheim, maybe over here towards Lusitania. That's not even close to it. Pustinia? Ugh. Pusitania. Yeah. Jesus. Cannot read. Pustinia, and then maybe down into some of the territories of Marverni, right? That would be awesome, right? Like, Tiernanog takes a couple of pieces of land, takes a bunch more, like, out of the actual portions of, like, Agartha, and then moves down over towards Helheim, right? I take over kind of like these portions. Femoria takes over like the Agarthan lands. I get some of the Marverni lands, and then suddenly I have, you know, Saramatia and some of its lands, Helheim and some of its some of Helheim's lands. I'm not assuming that I would actually get Helheim. Some of Marverni's lands, maybe Marverni itself, depending on how much focus we can put down to it. So that's the game plan, but execution is going to be fucking hard because Helheim hurts. Helheim's a powerhouse right now. Fortunately, the main bulk of our strength comes in stuff that's lightning resistant, so we can somewhat help mitigate some of his power. But Thunderstrike don't care that much, so at the end of the day, we're still going to have to be very careful about what we are doing. And that is why we are still focusing on blood magic, trying to get higher and higher up in blood magic. It's going to be very important for us to get into things like Ice Devils and Archdevils more. But that is the generalized concept. So other things that we're doing this turn, we're continuing to reanimate. We're bringing in another Mound King. We are using a lot of death gems to do this type of stuff, but we need power, or we need stuff to be able to present as power, and that's what the Long Dead is allowing us to do to have this chaff for now. Creating another Dwarven Hammer, another Storm Spool. We're doing Rings of the Warrior. We are doing more Owl Quills, more Frostbrands. We're putting together, like, we're going to try to get to the point where we have a nice little kit of ready-made materials so that we can just be like, 4 Vanjarls, go. 4 Vanjarls, go, right? And just see how that kind of out. I would like to add some more earth stuff to the mix. So this might be the last turn that we do Dwarven Hammers. We might turn around and start having one of these dwarves, maybe just the Svart 3, start producing, you know, there's some interesting things that we could do for our guys. Just something as simple as like a Black Steel Helm, right? This is protection 24 versus a Vanjarl's, for example, they have an Iron Cap, which is protection 16, right? So that's going to boost up their protection a couple points. The Scale Mail Cuirass is actually really not great. So we could do something as simple as, something as simple as, I think the lightweight Scale Mail is actually still better. It's better protection and it's better defense and encumbrance, if I'm remembering correctly. Something that I was looking at that is some... I think the Black Steel Plate is, as far as that goes. There's a good option. Where's the other? They're looking at It might be the dire wolf pelt that I was considering. So this, in theory, right, is might not be it. The range cloak. There's some other piece of armor that I was interested in. It might be the dire wolf pelt, but there's a combination of like less protection and more stats, basically. Maybe it was something wise. Just fireplate. It might have just been. I don't remember. I'll try to figure it out. But it might have been the copper plate. Maybe it was the copper plate. So we've got some options. Again, we don't want to overdo the amount of investments that goes into the raiders that we have, right? Generally speaking, a good weapon and then some decent supporting gear so that they're less likely to run and less likely to just get instantly incapped by something seems to be a pretty good route for what we're wanting. So that is pretty much it. That's the main focus of the turn. Next couple turns should be a little bit more high intensity, and hopefully we'll be able to jump into this scenario with Caleb. Hopefully we're not like, because here's the chance. It's a chance that we are leaving Tirnanog alone too long, right? And Caleb might just go woof, and fly the fuck over him. Basically like he did with Marverni. Marverni, like 4 turns ago was alive, and now is not. And again, like, I don't know. Marverni just doesn't seem like they were doing a whole lot for the last, like, 10 to 15. So who knows? They might have lost a lot more against Agartha than I was originally aware of. Truth be told, like, I definitely should have just gone with Saramatia against Marverni and taken what I could. But hindsight is 20/20. It is what it is. It's been fun. So that's going to be it for the turn. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.